Hey everybody, Tim here with tonight's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 1, The Child. How do you even talk about this episode? It's interesting. It's not great, but it's interesting. So a lot of changes have happened in between the end of Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2. And, the show just jumps right into it. So for example, we got Wesley's now in a more, official uniform, like a gray uniform with a communicator and everything, instead of the red, blue, gold rainbow outfit that I should have worn my hoodie of, but whatever. Worf is now in a gold outfit, and he is no longer acting chief of security. He is chief of security, so he's transferred from red to gold now. The one that they actually talk about is Geordi has now been promoted from helmsman. He is now chief engineer, which we saw several of in the first season, but now Geordi is chief engineer, as he will continue throughout the series. Colm Meaney makes another, I think this is his third appearance. So in the first episode, the pilot episode, he was just kind of a nobody. I think he was sitting at the helms. And then he made another appearance just kind of walking through the hall. Now he is transporter chief. I said it before, he's one of my favorite characters. I'm so happy for O'Brien, and Colm Meaney as an actor, won the lottery. He was just a nobody in the first episode. He becomes reoccurring. He gets a storyline. He's one of the few characters. He gets married and has a kid. And then when we get to Deep Space Nine, he's one of the main characters. So, go Transporter Chief O'Brien. So those are the characters we've seen, or that we know about already. We got some new characters. So Gates McFadden decided to leave the show for a while because she didn't really like what was happening. So she left, and then they replaced her with Dr. Polanski, who, for me personally, I've never been a big fan of hers. But she's played by Diane Mulder, who was in 2 episodes of the original series as 2 different characters. So it's kind of interesting to see a Star Trek veteran from the original series to now be a reoccurring character in The Next Generation. So we see her, and now probably my favorite character in all of Star Trek, the entire franchise, is Guinan, played by the amazing Whoopi Goldberg. And it's great because this episode came out 1988, 1989, when she was really in her peak. So we got Sister Act and Ghost and all that sort of stuff. And I love Whoopi Goldberg. I love Guinan. And she only gets more interesting as the character comes up. I was always upset that we never got a movie of just Guinan and Q. That would have made me the happiest person on earth. But so now we've seen Guinan, and now we've seen 10 Forward, which apparently has always been there, but they didn't talk about it. At least that's how it's handled. So 10 Forward is kind of the bar lounge area for people who are off duty. So I feel with the introduction of Guinan and 10 Forward, I feel we're finally getting to that Star Trek that we all kind of know and love. Season 2 it's probably better than Season 1, but it's still pretty rough in a lot of spots. This also introduces the most famous character in Star Trek, Riker's beard. So supposedly he hadn't planned on growing a beard. It just he was doing it while they were off for the summer and everybody liked it. So they were like, no, go ahead and keep it. But it's great. Every time I think about Riker, I think about the beard. So that's cool. So all of that, like I said, a lot of changes. As for the episode itself, this is a difficult episode. It kind of borderlines on rape because you have Troy being impregnated by an alien entity, but yet the pregnancy itself is weird because it only lasts 3 days. And there's no pain in the childbirth, which was really weird. And then the kid is only alive for 4 days or something. I think he's he grows very, very quickly. So you kind of have a rape type storyline going on where she was impregnated against her will. And then it's interesting when she first talks about how she is now pregnant. Some of the other bridge crew they actually talk about abortion, and they say, should we abort the fetus because it's a danger to the ship? And then Troy comes in and says, do whatever you need to protect the ship. This is my baby, and this is my choice. So I thought that was great. Again, Star Trek with the allegories, where they're talking about how it is the woman's choice because it's her body. So I thought that was really interesting that they go that forward and right in your face. This might be the first time abortion is actually talked about, or at least considered in primetime TV. I don't know. I'd have to look that up. Also, like I said, I don't really like Dr. Polanski, but like part of my hatred for her probably comes from this episode where she is so against Data, where Data's like, I'll be there for you if you want me to while you're giving birth, and Dr. Polanski's like, no, she needs a real man and not somebody cold like you. But it also leads to my favorite line where she calls him Data, and he's like, my name is Data, and she's like, well, what's the difference? And he goes, one is my name, the other is not. And I just love that. Like, that's probably one of my favorite lines of all of Star Trek. So I kind of like that. But overall, like I said, it's kind of a difficult episode as far as the story, and I feel like they were doing too much at one time. So if you guys have seen that, what do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about all of the character changes? We got Wesley, Worf, Geordi, O'Brien, Polanski, Guinan. We got a lot going on in this first episode of Season 2. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about Season 2 in general. What episodes are you guys excited to come up to? And I will see you guys next time for Episode 2, Where Silence Has Lease.